Lisa cradled Eli close as she traveled across landscapes no human eyes had ever seen. The desert faded into a world where the sky seemed lower and brighter, where trees grew taller than castle towers and waterfalls sparkled like threads of starlight. Every new breath Eli took felt like discovering a secret universe. She explained softly that her people believed in destiny, that two souls could be tied together across realms, waiting for the moment their paths would finally cross. Lisa had seen visions since childhood, a human cowboy with a gentle heart who would one day stand at her side. When she saw Eli beneath that storm, her heart knew the truth before her mind could speak it. Eli shook his head in disbelief. "Me? Why would fate choose someone like me?" "Because you see the world with kindness," she replied, lifting him closer to her chest as if sheltering a fragile hope. "Your heart is strong, even if you doubt it." They soon reached her hidden valley kingdom, nestled between sky-piercing cliffs and glowing rivers. Everything was built to giant scale, towering homes, colossal bridges, pathways lined with stones bigger than barns. Eli felt like a single blade of grass lost in a forest. The giants stared in awe and confusion. A human, tiny, breakable, was meant to be their future king. Their whispers buzzed around him like bees, but Lisa's presence felt like a barrier protecting him from every doubt. When he shivered beneath the weight of so many eyes, Lisa gently pressed him to her shoulder and spoke with certainty only love can give. "Don't move. Stay here with me. I need everyone to see that you are the one I chose." Her heartbeat thundered beneath his cheek, strong and steady. In that moment, Eli realized destiny wasn't about power or size, it was about being seen by someone who believed in you completely. Not everyone in the Sky Clan celebrated Eli's arrival. Many giants kept their distance, watching him with narrowed eyes and folded arms. Some whispered that Lisa had been deceived by a tiny outsider who could barely lift a sword the size of a needle to them. But the loudest voice of disapproval came from Lord Verkan, a proud warrior built like a living mountain, his armor made from shards of thunderstone. "He is fragile," Verkan declared before the council. "Humans break. How can he protect our princess? How can he protect us?" Lisa stood firm, refusing to let fear or tradition sway her. Yet Eli heard those doubts, and they buried themselves deep inside him. He had always known he was small. He had always known he wasn't a fighter. But hearing it spoken aloud, in a world where strength was measured in towering height and power, it cut sharper than any blade. That night, as the valley lay under a silver moon, a roar tore through the calm. Shadows poured from a cave hidden beneath the cliffs, monstrous beings with glowing eyes and jagged claws. The undercave creatures had come to destroy what the giants cherished most. Panic swept the kingdom. Giants fought to defend their homes, but in the chaos, a young sibling of Lisa slipped away, cornered by one of the beasts. Eli didn't hesitate. Despite trembling legs and pounding fear, he rushed to the child's aid, grabbing a fallen torch and waving it with desperate courage. "Hey, over here!" His voice cracked, but he didn't back down. The creature lunged, and Eli shielded the child with his body, refusing to let go. Moments later, a colossal hand swept the thread away, Lisa's hand. She stared at Eli, her eyes widening with shock and something even deeper, pride. "You are strong," she said, lifting him safely into her palms. "You protected what I love. That is the heart of a true hero." Eli, still shaking, finally allowed himself a small smile. Maybe destiny hadn't made a mistake after all. Days passed, and Eli found his place slowly taking shape in the Sky Clan. He trained with their youngest warriors, learned how to climb giant staircases, and even helped care for the colossal animals that roamed their gardens. But every achievement seemed small compared to the doubts that still lingered. Verkan's accusations echoed in every corner of the kingdom. "He is weak. He doesn't belong." The council decided to hold a trial, a test that would determine whether Eli was worthy to remain at Lisa's side, or be sent back to the lonely world he came from. When the news reached him, his heart sank like a stone thrown into deep water. For the first time since arriving, the fear of losing everything he had gained was greater than the fear he once had of never having it at all. Lisa found him sitting alone beneath a blossom tree, the petals falling around him like soft snow. His shoulders were low, his voice barely a whisper. "What if I fail? What if they take me away from you?" Her footsteps made the earth quiver, but her gentleness soothed him more than words. She knelt behind him and lowered a single finger to touch his back, a gesture careful, protective. "You don't need to fight giants to prove your worth," she said. "Your heart already speaks louder than any weapon." Eli turned, and she lifted him carefully, holding him close against her chest. Her breath warmed the air around him, steady and comforting. "Don't move," she whispered, her voice trembling just enough to reveal her own fear. "I need to feel that you're here. You make me brave." He rested his hand against the soft fabric near her heartbeat, that thunderous rhythm that had come to mean safety. In that fragile moment, they weren't giantess and cowboy, they were simply two souls terrified of losing each other. Eli closed his eyes and breathed her in. "If there's a fight tomorrow, I'll face it. For you." Her smile lit the dusk like a sunrise. They would face the trial. Together. The day of the trial arrived with storm clouds gathering above the Sky Clan's valley, as if the heavens themselves held their breath. Giants crowded into the arena, stone seats carved into the mountainsides, spiraling upward like a colossal coliseum. Eli stood at the center of the arena floor, feeling as small as an ant beneath 1,000 expectant eyes. His knees tried to tremble, but he commanded them to stand firm. He would not show weakness. Not today. Lord Verkan stepped forward, towering like a wrathful titan, his armor clattering with each step. He pointed a massive spear toward Eli. "Let him prove his worth. Let him show he can defend what he claims to love." The council agreed. The rules were simple. Eli must stand his ground, must not flee, must show courage in the face of overwhelming force. Eli swallowed hard. A cowboy against a mountain. But courage isn't measured in size. As Verkan advanced, thunderous footsteps shaking the ground, a chilling roar erupted from the shadows behind the arena. The undercave monsters had returned, and this time, there were dozens. Screams echoed throughout the valley as the beasts poured in like a black tide, attacking giants and stone pillars alike. Chaos exploded. Verkan turned to battle, and for a heartbeat, Eli stood frozen, until a creature leapt toward Lisa, its claws aimed for her throat. Eli sprinted, faster than fear, faster than thought. He seized a broken spear shard, throwing himself between the monster and the woman who had given him a reason to exist. The clash was a blur of desperation. Eli held the line, tiny hands gripping the weapon, voice roaring with a courage no one expected. Giants rushed into the fight inspired by his defiance. Together, they drove the monsters back into the darkness. When the final beast fell, silence washed over the arena. Lisa scooped Eli into her arms, tears shimmering in her great silver eyes. "You saved me, again." Her voice shook with love and awe. The council bowed their heads. Even Verkan placed his spear against the ground in surrender. "The cowboy has the heart of a ruler," he declared. Lisa lifted Eli high into the air, her voice echoing across the mountains. "He is my chosen one, my partner, my courage, my heart." The crowd roared triumphantly. Eli looked into Lisa's glowing eyes, and for the first time, he understood the truth. Love isn't measured in inches or power. Love is standing beside someone, no matter how great the danger. He may have been small in body, but his heart was giant enough for both of them. And at last, he had found where he truly belonged. A cinematic, medium-close outdoor shot depicts a dramatic interaction between a young man and a young woman in what appears to be a dry, arid, Western-style historical setting. The lighting is harsh and bright, suggesting midday sun under a clear sky. The young man is standing on the left side of the frame, looking down at the woman. He appears to be in his late teens or early 20s, with a fair skin tone and short, blonde hair that is neatly parted. He is dressed in attire consistent with late 19th or early 20th century working class or frontier fashion. He wears a plain, light gray or taupe long-sleeve Henley shirt with a few buttons visible at the neck, and dark brown trousers held up by brown leather suspenders. His gaze is intense, fixed on the woman's hands or face, and his expression seems serious or concerned. The young woman is kneeling on her right knee in front of him, occupying the right and lower half of the frame. She appears to be in her late teens or early 20s, with a medium to tan skin tone and dark hair tucked beneath a white bonnet and veil. She is wearing a historically styled, high-necked, long-sleeved white wedding dress, featuring lace detailing around the neckline and bodice, and a full skirt. A long, sheer white veil cascades down her back. Her head is bowed slightly, and she is focused on adjusting or touching the front of the man's trousers around his beltline with her right hand. Her overall appearance suggests an ethnicity that is non-European, possibly Latina or Middle Eastern, based on her features and skin tone. The setting is a dusty, barren landscape, characteristic of a desert or frontier town. The ground is dry, pale dirt. In the background, there is a blurry wooden building, a cabin or saloon, on the far left. Further into the background, a rudimentary wooden fence or corral spans the middle distance. Low, scrub-covered hills or mountains are visible on the horizon under a pale blue sky. The depth of field is shallow, keeping the focus primarily on the two figures and their interaction.